I've been diabetic for 9 years. I think the majority of us have tried to do keto for like at least like a week or something, and we're like, oh my god, I can't do this. But I've tried a lot of different things, to be honest, but before I tried the Mastering Diabetes diet, I was in that attitude of like, I'm type 1, I'm taking insulin, you know what, I can eat what I want. That's what I was at, because I was just sick of hearing eat low carb, like eat more fiber, eat, like I couldn't hear it anymore. So I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna eat what I want. I'm gonna sit at home and I'm gonna make whatever I want for dinner, make pasta with red sauce, or like I'm gonna go out to McDonald's and get a McChicken. Like I don't care. I didn't care. And you know what was also funny about that was, like I told you, my A1C was 6. I was still getting the numbers. I still had blood sugar control. I was never really a person that dealt with like severe insulin resistance and stuff like that. Like as long as I was pre-bolusing and taking the proper amount of insulin, I was fine. I think that if I didn't have this like minor kidney issue, I don't think I would have ever changed. And it's like a blessing in disguise to see, because I would have never seen what was going on with me. And long term, you know, maybe like 10, 15 years from now, I would start having health problems from eating practically the standard American diet, honestly. I was having microalbumin in my like urine tests, which is like common for people with diabetes if that you're not like really having good control. It's basically just like protein leakage in your urine, and it's not good to see that at all as a diabetic. So I was reading online that you can, like, if you decrease your intake of animal products, it can help. And then I saw Robbie doing it. I found his Instagram from a girl who's not even diabetic, and at first I was like, this girl has no idea what she's talking about. This girl's telling me to eat 300 carbs a day. I was like, she's crazy. It's just another person telling me, oh, you can do this. And then I found him, and I don't know. I think that was like, my doctor told me the only way to get the protein leakage away had like nothing to do with diet. She told me, she was like, just take your insulin, your Dexcom should help. I had this problem for 2 years. Like, it was not letting up. In fact, I think, honestly, it was getting worse. So I think that there are many, many, many diabetics with this problem. When I talk about it, especially type 1, people message me and they're like, I have the same deal. They're like, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, you need to try this. So on April 22nd in 2019, my A1C was a 6. It's not bad, obviously, but I was still struggling in other factors of diabetes. I wasn't enjoying what I was eating. I was having problems with my microalbumin in my urine. So that just shows you that a good A1C does not equal no protein leakage. It was more than just the A1C. It was more than the blood tests. It was my diet and like what I was putting into my body. So seeing a 6 and still having poor results of microalbumin made me really want to make a change. I got my other A1C on November 14th of 2019, and I started this diet I started it really slow. I would say August is when I started to like feel like I could maybe do this. I'm not a crazy person. I didn't do it overnight. So take things really slow. So it took quite a while, but on November 14th, it was 5%. And I know that number scares a lot of people, but I have the Dexcom, so I can see my time in range. And Robbie always really emphasizes that time in range is much more important than your A1C number. So when I looked at that, I was like, you know what? I'm doing awesome. So I was really happy with that result. And my most recent A1C was on February 14th, 2020, still following this. And I got it back up a bit because the 5 did kind of, freak me out a bit. If you have started this diet or you're thinking about starting it, Robbie and Cyrus have said hundreds of times, you need to adjust your insulin because you might be having frequent lows because your insulin sensitivity is going up. So I was like, I kind of want to get my A1C up just a little bit. So I got it up to 5.6 on February 14th. And I want to stay in that range. So I'm really happy with that. So one of the big problems I had, like I said, my A1C was 6 eating animal products, but I was still having the protein leakage in my urine issue that my doctor was really concerned about. It wasn't looking good. And it was also telling me and my doctor and everybody around me that this is more than my numbers. It's way more than that. So January 4th of 2018, my microalbumin value was 356.9, which is extremely high. And then on February 1st of 2019, this is kind of when I was at my breaking point. Like I said, I started the diet in September of 2019. So in February, I saw this result and I was like, I have to do something. My microalbumin value was at 566.1, which is not good at all. So I kept going with obviously eating not like extremely low carb, but I was really, really, really hesitant about eating carbs. I thought there were only bad carbs, like there were only evil carbs. No carbs were good carbs, and the only thing that was going to help my insulin sensitivity or my issue with this problem was like eating meat and vegetables, which is not right at all. And then after I started this diet, what was it? September, October, November. So about 3 months after, literally 3 months, it went down to 158. When I saw that, my doctor, I know some people's doctors are like really on board with this stuff, but low key, like she didn't even really say anything. I was like, because I think that she realized like that what she was saying didn't work. And sometimes when doctors see that and then the patient goes and does what they want to do, they get kind of offended. That was pretty awesome for me. I've been diabetic for 9 years. I think the majority of us have tried to do keto for like at least like a week or something. And we're like, oh my God, I can't do this. But I've tried a lot of different things, to be honest. But before I tried the Mastering Diabetes diet, I was in that attitude of like, I'm type 1, I'm taking insulin, you know what, I can eat what I want. That's what I was at, because I was just sick of hearing eat low carb, like eat more fiber, eat, like I couldn't hear it anymore. So I was like, you know what, screw it. I'm just gonna eat what I want. I'm gonna sit at home and I'm gonna make whatever I want for dinner. I'm gonna make pasta with red sauce, or like I'm gonna go out to McDonald's and get a McChicken. Like I don't care. I didn't care. And you know what was also funny about that was, like I told you, my A1C was 6. I was still getting the numbers. I still had blood sugar control. I was never really a person that dealt with like severe insulin resistance and stuff like that. Like as long as I was pre-bolusing and taking the proper amount of insulin, I was fine. I think that if I didn't have this like minor kidney issue, I don't think I would have ever changed. And it's like a blessing in disguise to see, because I would have never seen what was going on with me. And long term, you know, maybe like 10, 15 years from now, I would start having health problems from eating practically the standard American diet, honestly. I know a lot of type 1s follow keto. I know a lot of type 1s follow paleo, whatever they want, veganism, whatever. But we also forget that there are so many of us out there who are told at diagnosis, you can eat what you want as long as you take insulin for it. It's like, yes, you can, but at the same time, nobody on this planet should just be eating whatever they want, especially us when we're at risk for like so many different problems. I mean, it's your prerogative, it's your body. I can't tell you what to do. But at the same time, that's just a reason for like my change was like, I was like, you know what, hearing the you can eat whatever you want, I'm like, I don't really know about that, because now I'm starting to have all these problems, even though I have all these great numbers. So that was definitely something for me that was kind of different from other people with mastering diabetes. I know a lot of people go through insulin resistance and a lot of issues with dosing. I didn't. I was just going through like personal issues, like just hating everything I was doing. Lab results were not coming back good. Yes, A1C, but that is not everything, like I said before. So yeah, that was kind of like the gist of what I was going through and why I decided to change to this diet. I found Robbie, actually, his personal Instagram from a girl who's not even diabetic. And she was like, hey, I found this really cool guy. He is a vegan and he eats plant-based and he has this crazy insulin sensitivity. And I'm pretty sure he's a type 1 as well. Like, here's his page. For the first time in my life, like, I'm not going to be stubborn about this, because I was, like I said, I was desperate. I needed a change, and I also wanted to help animals, and I thought that I couldn't do that. So when I saw this, I was like, fine, I'll just follow this guy. Like, geez, I was not ready for what I was about to get myself into. So basically, I just buy a lot of fruits. When I go to the produce section, I'm not afraid of it anymore. I think that people know what I'm talking about with diabetes. When you go to the produce section, you get scared, you get intimidated, you feel like there's not many things you can buy. Like, my husband like absolutely loves bananas, and last year I would never even look in that direction. I would go get like cucumbers and like lettuce and then like leave. Like I was not about to get anything else, maybe like some frozen Brussels sprouts or something. Like I was not about to get too crazy with it. So now I basically go to a bunch of different grocery stores because every grocery store has a different thing to offer, different prices, different produce, different quality. So just totally, it's a learning process. For breakfast this morning, I had like nectarine and a banana. Like I just sliced them up and put them in a bowl. No big deal. And then for lunch, it depends. I mean, today I just had lunch. I just had like a big salad with like leafy greens, like spinach. There's some arugula in it, cucumber, cherry tomato, and then like a vinaigrette dressing. It's not that crazy. Oh, and like a side of like bread with it. So I need some bread. And then for dinner, well, I had chickpeas yesterday. So that's one of the things I have. Sweet potatoes are pretty big. Me and my husband love those. I eat a lot of cucumbers. But the crazy thing about this diet is I watched the testimonial last night from another woman. And she said I thought I was the only one, and I was like kind of afraid to admit this. But she said, yeah, I follow this diet most of the time, but like, she's like, if my husband wants to go and like get a slice of like vegan pizza, or my parents made like, I don't know, like some vegan dessert, or she wants just like, she's having a bad week and she wants some vegan ice cream, like you can do that and still maintain great insulin sensitivity. I'm not saying you can do it for every meal, but like if it's a Friday night and you want to go out with your man or your woman, you can, as long as like you're still getting in everything else that you need to do the rest of the week. It's really so easy. And like on keto and on a normal diet, I feel like you can't do that. I feel like it's like you follow the diet so strictly and then you just break down and you're like, oh my God, I want a piece of pizza. And then you eat a piece of pizza and you're like to the sky and you have to take so much insulin to get it back down. So if you really want to see more of what I eat, my Instagram is insulin thought, but the thought, like the O, is a 0. So that's what it is. I have a entire highlight just titled and dedicated to food, all plant-based foods, no animal products, things that help me on this diet. A lot of these things I don't eat like every single day, It's really informative. It just shows you that on this kind of diet, like you can even eat like out. I eat at Chipotle all the time. Just get some black beans. I don't get rice, but I think that you could if you really wanted, but I'm not going to deal with that. I just get some black beans, some pico, some guac, some lettuce, and some corn salsa, and I'm good. I talk about my food scale also on my Instagram. You're going to need that if you're going to be doing this because people are eating a lot of carbohydrates. And it's really big about monitoring your fats too, which I feel like a lot of people miss that part, and then the diet doesn't work for them. I know it's really scary to see like cut back on animal products when that's what your doctor is telling you to do, or that's what your family is telling you to do, or that's what your type 1 best friend is doing. But if you are just like looking for answers and you're just absolutely terrified of carbohydrates, I 100% understand you. I used to eat like, I remember I would like go and get like a smoothie and be like 600 like all day and not be able to get my ranges down. So you're definitely not alone. Don't look at people that do this diet and go, they must have a different type of diabetes where they can eat fruit. It's not like that. I can totally relate to people who message me and say, well, I had an apple last night and I was like 350 and couldn't. I know I've gone through the same thing. If you're looking into this diet to improve any kind of type of your health, or maybe you're passionate about animals or whatever it may be, this is definitely an option for you. You just have to stick with it. I stuck with it, and I think after like 3 or 4 days, I already had to make adjustments to my insulin sensitivity, or my insulin sensitivity on my pump. I was on 1 unit for 10 grams for 7.5 years. I didn't go down. I didn't go up. Nothing changed. I was the same. So as you can tell, like that's not a bad range at all. But I wasn't making any improvement. Nothing was changing, and my health was like kind of declining a bit. Now, it totally depends on the day. But I can range anywhere from like 1 to 14 all the way up to 1 for 20. So it really depends. Like if I'm having a really good week and I'm like really eating a ton of fruit and I'm keeping low fat, I can get 1 for 20. But if I'm like, having like a vegan cookie and like, maybe I'm like on my period. Like it'll be like one for like 12 or one for 14. Totally depends. But don't be afraid to change your insulin to carb ratios. I just said I've never changed mine for 7.5 years. It's really, really, really scary, but you can do it. I promise you can do it. And it's all about knowing your body. If you're a diabetic, most of us know our body more than other people know their bodies. So I promise you, don't be scared. If you stick with this for 3 or 4 days and you are doing high carb and very low fat, it'll work for you. It'll work for everybody I talk to. It works for them. So just try it. If you're looking for answers and you have these early diabetes complications or you just need to change something, definitely do it. I would recommend this to just about everybody I recommend this to.